Welcome to Ecclesia Principles, a biblical strategy for believers to engage in God's design for government with Ray Eppard.
Hello, good to talk to you again today. Today we're going to be talking about David and Goliath and the message that David delivered to Goliath on his way toward Goliath. Now, as a basis for this, my text is 1 Corinthians 10:11, where it says, "Now all these things happened to them as examples, and they were written for our admonition, upon whom the ends of the ages have come." Now, too often, we only go for the message, the undercurrent message. But a lot of times we have done that to the degree that we have missed the plain truth and the plain message that was in front of us. In the story of David and Goliath, David, we know him, he loved God, he was eventually would become the king of Israel. Goliath was a giant, and there were two things that he was really set out to do. He was defying God, and he was seeking to enslave Israel. Let's put it another way. He was defying God and seeking to enslave David's nation. We have those giants today in our land that are defying God and that are seeking the enslavement of our nation under oppression. That is happening today. There are those people, and they are giants in the land. Now, in the New Testament, we do not fight like David did. We do not wrestle against flesh and blood. We need to pray for some Saul of Tarsus experiences for some of those giants, that they come to Jesus in that. But the message that David delivered to Goliath as he was running toward him, the Bible tells us that David ran toward Goliath. The problem is the church today is not running toward the giants. We're pulling back and talking about how much they can do and how little we can't. No, David was running toward Goliath. He basically told him, "I'm going to defeat you, and I'm going to defeat the entire army that's with you." And he had 5 smooth stones in his bag that he was carrying. And at that point, there were 5 Philistine giants in the land. All 5 of them were defeated during David's lifetime. The first stone took down Goliath. Some of his men took down some of the others, but all 5 of them went down. See, I firmly believe David was setting his faith. He was trusting God to take down every giant that was defying God and was seeking to enslave his nation. That's where his faith was. You see, it was written for our admonition. It was written as an example to us. We have to understand that we have to step up. So many people, well, I'm just praying that God does something. Well, that's what all of David's brothers were doing. That's what Saul was doing. That's what the whole army of Israel was doing, was praying for God to send somebody. But when David came along, he didn't pray for God to send somebody. He just said, "I'll enter into the battle. I'll enter into the fight." And we as the church have to have David's attitude. Not pull back, not just pray. We need to pray, but we don't need to pray that way. We need to pray, "What would you have me to do?" Because God wants us to have victory over the giants that defy God and seek to enslave our nation. God bless you.
Ray Eppard. Follow us on YouTube and Facebook on our Ray Eppard pages. This program was brought to you by Victory Worship Center and World Outreach. Services Sunday 9 o'clock and 11 o'clock, 200 Hammond Lane, Stanton, Virginia.